Hi, I'm Kadia Saraf,
This is Dominic Famusa
and you are listening to Dissecting Dexter.
with the brilliant Gareth Watkins.
I'm exactly who you want me to be. Oh, Dexter, you sneaky little monkey. You know how to push our buttons, breaking the fourth wall, and a nod to all those fans who just want Dexter doing his Dextery thing. Hi everyone, I'm Gareth, and you are listening to Dissecting Dexter, proud to be the internet's longest running Dexter podcast. I'm ready for a break, to be honest, but it's been a great few weeks, and I'm not done. We're here today to break down the Dexter Resurrection Season 1 finale, and I suspect I'll be splitting off the feedback again so we don't go too long. I had a fantastic chat last night with Cardia and Dominic, who we know as Detectives Wallace and Oliva. I'll be posting that soon. And next week, I've got a call planned with a very special guest. I don't want to jump the gun and announce who, just in case something happens and we can't do it. I always have that niggly tiny doubt that there'll be a spanner in the works. Hopefully not though, but keep an eye out for that. And stay subscribed to the podcast feed. Even after we're done with coverage for Season 1, I'll be taking a little break before turning back the clock and dissecting Season 4 of the original series and working towards finishing what I started many, many years ago, the rewatch. And of course, as Season 2 of Resurrection starts to approach, my attention will turn to that. If you want to show your support for the podcast, you can do it for free by leaving a nice review and or a 5-star rating wherever you listen. If you want to go a step further, you can support me from as little as £2 a month by visiting www.patreon.com/dissectingdexter, where different reward tiers can net you different benefits, but all supporters get access to ad-free episodes and my eternal gratitude. Thanks as always to everyone who supports me there, including my newest supporters, Erin and Janet. Extra special thanks to my higher tier supporters, Des, Nick and Phil, Kelly, Ryan, Jennifer and John. Right, that said, let's get into this and introduce my co-pilot for this one. He needs no introduction, so I'm not going to give him one. It's Travis. Hey, buddy.
Oh, Gareth. Oh, fuck you. Oh. I guess that should be my last words. But edit that in the end. Would you have your editors do that? Your team.
Audacity is a wonderful thing. I shall get it loaded up as soon as we're done.
Yeah. Welcome, or it's good to be welcomed. Thank you. Yeah. I'm welcoming you. Well, welcome to the internet, Gareth.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you're very welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
And as indeed is everyone who's listening, we are here, as I say, to dissect the Resurrection finale. So let's get straight into it, shall we, and not waste any time. It is, of course, Season 1, Episode 10, and Justice for All. Original air date, the 5th of September 2025. Story by Clyde Phillips, Alexandra Franklin and Mark Mazinski. Teleplay by Clyde Phillips and directed by Marco Siega. Now, I wondered about the episode title and Justice for All. It must mean something in the context of the show, and of course it does. But I'm English, as you know, so the connection to the Pledge of Allegiance eluded me until I'd done some Googling. Liberty and Justice for All. Obviously, we end the episode with Dexter and the Statue of Liberty in the background. Dexter has some liberty, at least for now, while Justice for All, apart from also being a Metallica song, reminds me of how Dexter fantasized back in the early days of being a Dark Defender. But throughout, of course, dispenses his own kind of justice by taking out the trash. And he has a big bag of files now, potential future victims, all equally needing justice to be served, I'm sure. We jump right in where we left off last week. Prater buzzing from what just happened. He committed his first kill, and we discover later, he liked it, and he hopes it'll be the first of many. And we witness the birth of a serial killer, although of course he doesn't get to see that through to full fruition. How did you view his reaction?
It was something I guess we were all kind of waiting for all season, right? Like, we knew this guy, he liked to watch. He's like a little pervert where I like to watch, but he didn't like to, he didn't know he wanted to get in there. I was surprised, or not surprised, Charlie's reaction. She goes like, oh, what the fuck? You just killed a fucking cop. And I think that really highlights like what you were talking about last week in the podcast regarding the feedback. Charlie never liked Prater. She was being like extorted almost, right? She was kind of doing things against her will. Because when she's like, you just killed a fucking cop, I'm thinking like, well, you probably tied him down. What did you think was going to happen, lady? Like maybe she was hoping for, some other outcome that could have happened, But because I guess, well, she had her gun taken away, but she's not the one who killed Batista. Maybe she could have tried to defuse it differently or something,
Yeah, I guess like Dexter killing him would have been okay. But Prater wasn't.
I
don't know. It's just
I'm not
very
sure.
Vague line she had.
But we could tell that she probably could handle herself. I don't even. Did anybody mention it? How badass Batista was 2 episodes ago when he fought like 3 cops on his own. They gave Batista his like last stand. Remember he fought the security guards. Yeah. Maybe she could have gone toe to toe. I know Uma Thurman from Kill Bill was kind of a badass. Maybe Charlie could also have disarmed Batista without a weapon. Maybe. Yeah. He didn't have to die. But I liked his react with his little hands over his face. He's like a child. He's like, I no disrespect to Peter Dinklage, but he looks like a child in that moment with his like, oh my God, what did I do? He's all excited and you know what I mean? He's just so stoked.
Yeah. He's delirious, almost giddy, like he's high or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that as we see through the episode, he talks about it. I think the thrill, he wasn't prepared for the elation that he felt.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's like we witnessed the birth of a serial killer.
Uh-huh.
But he's quite ambivalent about Charlie's reaction. She's outraged, and he doesn't give 2 hoots, does he? He's like you say, he's heightened and just elated by the thrill of what he's just done. But Charlie's right to be mad. The timing isn't good, even if Dexter had done it. It's a big misstep for them.
He thinks he can just let Dexter starve to death or dehydrate to death. I get right. Oh, yeah, it's 3 days. Whatever. Let's leave him in there. I don't know. Maybe hypothetically, maybe he's gone more than 3 days without opening the vault. Usually, so. But it's very cruel. And it's gonna be smelly in there. If you go in 2 dead bodies in there.
Oh, it will get smelly pretty quickly. I mean, there was a vent in the ceiling. I think when Dexter was looking for a means of escape, he looked up saw.
Did you think they were going to do something with that? Because remember that when they set up the vault, he'd set up something like if the security system goes off, the whole place gets torched. Or do you remember that? Like in episode 4, I think.
Yeah, he demonstrates what happens if you put the wrong code in, and a big alarm goes off, and Charlie rushes in, gun drawn. Yeah.
See, I was under the impression somehow he would MacGyver, like I don't know, somehow. Oh, I'll set the place on fire and the emergency exit will open. I don't know. I thought it'd be something like that, instead of just like, oh, Harrison got me out. Speaking of which, let's go. This is the next thing. How do you feel about the little flashes? I know your man Scott said he changed them or whatever. The little episode, like, flash forwards real quick.
The little preview flashes.
Because in the flashes, we saw Harrison get Dexter out. Now, on one hand, I'm not dumb. I knew Dexter was going to get out. That's schmuckbait. Call back to last week.
Yeah.
And, if we're being really myopic, I guess, if we care about spoilers so much, because if we ever rewatch it, I'll already know what's going to happen. In the future, we're already going to know what's going to happen. So these flashes don't matter. But first impressions are like everything. I want to be in the moment. I want to be like I don't know what's going to happen. And when I see that flash of Harrison in his white tuxedo hugging Dexter inside the vault, it's like, well, that's how that's going to shake out,
Yeah. And then your mind's thinking, how's that going to play out?
Yeah.
That Harrison's involved. He's there when the door opens and they embrace.
Yeah.
I mean, we obviously had a prediction, didn't we, that came true from a listener who predicted that Cooper Morris's inmate number would be the code. So kudos to
good on
Tyden.
Tyden
Tyden it was. He predicted that and he was bang on. And someone else predicted that the quote unquote protection was a syringe of M99.
I heard that. Okay, because I just listened to. I've been a busy boy. I just listened to that podcast moments before this, and I just assumed it was a condom. I didn't think twice about it. But you had like 2 listeners talk about like maybe it wasn't a condom, maybe it was a knife. One person said knife, and then the woman who left the feedback last, I think, said M99 specifically.
Yeah, so she's actually a psychologist. So she's been leaving some comments on the YouTube versions and has gone into some detail and is quite knowledgeable. But I was very impressed with her prediction coming true, because I thought if it had been a syringe, Harrison might have, obviously for dramatic effects, they couldn't have Harrison saying, "What am I supposed to do with that?"
True. Yeah.
They were meant to. It had to be ambiguous, didn't it?
Didn't he say something like, "You know how to work this thing, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I know." It's all this double entendre. You know where to stick this, right, Harrison?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But so going back to Charlie, so she's injured, and I didn't realize until I watched the previously on again that she did get clipped by the axe that Dexter threw. Prater doesn't give 2 hoots that she's injured. Just says, "Oh, I'll go and find a first aid kit."
Entitled.
What they both forget is that Batista's phone is still in the vault. Yeah. Now, I can forgive Prater for forgetting, because he's just so I've killed somebody, that he's on cloud 9 and completely in the zone. But Charlie seems more focused and in the moment, doesn't she? Insofar as the wider situation.
Yeah, that's what he pays her for, That's
So I guess she dropped the ball. That she didn't think, hang on a minute, we've left him there with a phone. Yeah. But lucky for Dexter that they did. So he's trying to find a way out, and I was quite impressed, because in spite of his blood-curdling scream at the end last week, he's very focused this episode and not outwardly encumbered by his grief. We see little moments where he's still thinking about it, but he has to focus, doesn't he? Mourning doesn't get him out of there. There can be a time for reflection later. However, seeing Batista lying there is hard to see as a viewer, and hard for Dexter clearly as well, because he finds a sheet to cover him with respectfully, but the blood quickly soaks through, which is a stark reminder of what's just happened. And Dexter says a few words. He says, "You were a good cop and an even better man," and I think that's high praise from Dexter. Although I was hoping he'd say something like, "The best friend I ever had," or something like that. But sometimes less is more. But that was a nice moment. Were you? What did you think of that?
Well, I think somebody had already referenced it, one of your other listeners. But I think back to the season 2 in the hospital when Lila has drugged herself and blaming Batista for date rape. You remember? Yeah. Dexter knows it's all bullshit. Dexter and Batista have this moment where he says, if I could be anybody in the world, I'd want to be like you, Batista, Yeah. Because Batista, I think in that moment, Batista, despite everything that, his life was falling apart, he tried to pay for Dexter's dinner. He was trying to be nice when he didn't need to be. And Dexter was just like, "You're just such a good dude." And so I think it's all sincere. Everything, it really felt sincere. This wasn't like him saying "Oh, Masuka, you were the best." It's like, well, Dexter liked Masuka, but I don't ever really believe he loved Masuka,
Yeah, he had a connection with Batista in as far as Dexter is capable of having a connection with somebody. But I agree. I thought it was sincere, and I'm happy with what he said. I mean, I'd have liked him to have said this or that, but as I say, sometimes less is more.
You know what I also expected? Instead of the Rudy, I expected maybe Ghost Batista, even just for this episode or something, because they got David Zayas for the episode, and I think last week on the call, he was like, "Hey, you never know," and he was like, "With Dexter, you can never know." I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be Ghost Batista talking shit," look what you did, hermano, and his shirt's all bloody. And, yeah.
Yeah.
But what about that Rudy? How'd you feel about that?
Oh, well, it makes sense that he would appear in that moment. And I feel that when he does appear, that is Dexter interacting with the Dark Passenger in its purest form. Now, I know one listener who'll be very happy with the appearance of Christian Camargo. We know the world's greatest Brian Moser fan, Nikki. She has sent in a voicemail this week. I've not listened to it yet, but I'm sure she'll be she'll have been doing cartwheels.
I loved it too. I mean, I'm not immune to fan service. Even though I can kind of be a snob. I can be a snob and be like, all right, okay, how convenient, fan service. But I just love, it gives me that season 1 vibes. And I had the thought, dude, I got to rewatch season 1. I got to go back at, he, for better or worse, I just associate him with Rudy. I've never really seen Christian Camargo. I've never seen Rudy in other roles. I guess he's on Broadway or something, right? I think last I heard he was doing Broadway stuff, which is, but I love to see it.
Yeah,
I love to see it, and I was sad that he just kind of disappeared. I think when he disappeared, like Dexter threw that thing at him, right?
Chainsaw. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do it." I wasn't prepared. Like, oh, that was it. Because he didn't. Yeah. I guess I was expecting something more dramatic, like a musical sting or a puff of smoke or something. But yeah, I was like, oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
So,
Dexter acknowledges the pain he's feeling. He says, why does it hurt so much? And he puts his hand to his chest, I think.
Yeah.
Brian goads him, of course, and Dexter bites back. I'm glad I killed you when I had the chance.
Yeah, that's kind of a big thing for him to say.
Yeah. He's come away, isn't he?
Yeah.
But I liked his acknowledgement to himself, his admission that it hurts, that it hurts with Batista. And the scream spoke volumes last week, and then we get the interruption with the Smash Mouth song, which is Batista's ringtone.
Oh, Smash Mouth! When you said Smash Mouth, I was thinking Smashing Pumpkins, and I was like, what? Yes, Smash Mouth. Yeah. I forgot. I didn't even write that in my notes. That was a little weird. Yeah. What a little jab to make Batista so lame, like beyond the grave. Like, give him something.
He's
cooler.
A Shrek fan.
Yeah, like what the hell? Come on, give him some Latin jazz or why can't we be friends? That would have been a great ringtone for him.
I mean, we could do a whole podcast, couldn't we? Spouting, throwing out suggestions for alternative ringtones. Yeah. Maybe we'll squeeze that in somewhere. But he has to use Batista's face to unlock the phone, unlock the screen, and
move
that
right out of New Blood.
Oh, just lift the sheet. Sorry, brother. I mean, again, that term of endearment, another clue to Dexter's affection for him. And it's Quinn's voicemail, and Dexter says, "I miss them."
Yeah,
and maybe he does have a little pang for them good old days.
Well, they were simpler
emotional
times.
Attachment. They were simpler times, mostly. Some of the time, occasionally. Yeah, he wasn't being pursued by LaGuerta.
Between seasons when we weren't
between
watching.
Seasons, in the hiatus.
Yeah.
But it's emotional attachment, and you think of Dexter as this, on paper, a psychopath, a sociopath, not making genuine emotional attachments, but he has, and he's acknowledging it in his own way here. All these little signs that Dexter's more human now than he cares to admit, and then he calls Harrison, who's got his hands full.
He's got his mouth full.
More sexy time. I mean, how she answers the phone, my God. I mean, you'd be mortified, wouldn't you, if that was your...
Yeah.
If you were Dexter. I mean...
Okay, let me ask you this. Here we go. All right. No, I wasn't going to bring it up, but I can't help it.
Uh-oh.
Did Harrison put Batista's cell phone number in his phone?
It came up with Batista's name.
It did. I was like, oh, I guess I didn't know they were that close. Yeah. And presumably presumably Batista had Harrison's number in his phone, unless Dexter's a really good dad and remembers his own son's phone number. I don't remember anyone's number.
I don't know either of my kids' phone numbers.
Yeah.
If you ask me to write them down, they're both numbers are just stored in my phone.
Yeah. I know my parents' number, but that's it. I don't know my girlfriend's number. I don't know my friend's number. I don't know nobody's number.
Yeah, I do know my wife's number, but
There we go.
I don't know my parents' mobile numbers. No, home number, yes, because it used to be mine. But
Yeah.
but yeah, obviously your dad ringing. It's a bit of a passion killer. Your dad ringing up and talking about a murder.
I don't know,
sucks to
midday.
be-
What little horny little Harrison? What the hell, dude?
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was weren't they meeting at about 10 o'clock? Prater and Dexter. So it's
This isn't even
11s.
afternoon delight, before noon delight.
This is like a late morning coffee.
Dang.
So Harrison's on his way, and meanwhile Dexter's having a rummage around the vault, and he finds Prater's files. So again, Prater didn't think, oh shit, all that information's in there with him. And maybe Charlie didn't know the files were in there, but I guess some of these files are well, there's no guessing about it. Clearly, some of these files are going to come in handy for season 2. But I did wonder at the time, I thought, there's going to be one on the Ripper, isn't there?
Yeah. I know. Okay, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I won't say what I have to say about that. But you did leave something out. To Harrison's credit, he was mad. He's like, "Why are you calling me from Batista's cell phone?" He remembered Logan. I had the thought. I was like, they're gonna drop that. But he even if you could maybe argue he believed Dexter a little too quick, he did bring up like, Dad, what the fuck? This isn't the first time you called me from a dead cop's phone,
Yeah.
So I mean, it's good they brought that up.
And it's recent memory. It's what, 4 months earlier, something like that.
Yeah,
it really isn't
4
long.
months, yeah.
Yeah. Almost to the day, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess Dexter's earned a little bit of trust from Harrison over the course of this season, and their relationship's in a better place than it was.
Their relationship's in a better place, and even if Dexter kind of decides to be celibate, so to speak, for the rest of his life, if Harrison's going to remain with Gigi, that's the next complication. Gigi may as well be Rita or Deb, or it's like now he's got another person to keep a secret from. And can Harrison keep a secret? I'm assuming so, but this is the kind of drama I expect going forward, right?
Yeah. Well, she's going to wonder what was going on. Is Harrison going to have to, like Dexter was always disappearing here and there, and that would lead to him having to lie in order to cover up his tracks. Is that what Harrison's going to have to do with Gigi?
Yeah.
Or is she going to be allowed into the circle? I suspect not.
I hope not, because then it becomes like family circus. Or it's just in my mind. It's like, okay, I'll let you and Harrison can know, but it's like then you can't just letting everybody know.
Yeah, just don't tell anybody else. Can we just tell Blessing?
Yeah. Well, Dexter's come a long way since season 3, but these are the kinds of conversations he had in season 3 with Miguel. Remember, Miguel's like, hey, let me just tell my brother that we killed Freebo and it'll be cool. And Dexter's like, don't tell nobody that we killed Freebo,
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, that's 15, almost 20 years ago now. Oh, yeah, closer to 20 years ago. That was 2008.
Yeah, wow. So the gala begins. Everybody's turning up, and Claudette Wallace shows up looking
Detective
$1 million.
BG's.
Yeah. And I keep pronouncing his name wrong. I only just spoke to him last night. Oliva, thank you.
Oliva.
Good grief.
It's like Aleve the drug.
Apologies
Do you
if
have
you're
Aleve?
listening.
Do you have Aleve over in the UK? It's like an
lever.
allergy medication.
We have levers here. I mean, you'll call them levers, but we.
Okay, there we go. Then you have no. I'm trying to help you out.
Lever. Yeah.
You're giving yourself no excuse.
It's not that hard, is it?
No, it's not.
Good grief. But yeah, he greets her enjoying a Kojak lollipop, which I liked, and he's really nice to her.
There's going to be an HR problem in the future. There's going to be an HR problem because he's got the hots for her. He's attracted to her mind. She's a beautiful woman, but he loves her mind.
I didn't bring this question up with them when I spoke to them, whether there's any potential romantic chemistry going on there. I don't get any vibe from her at all towards him.
Not at all.
I did describe him as being the most patient and understanding partner, because he clearly understands her needs and how she operates, and gives her the space to do it. And if anyone else is there, he'll do the explaining. So I think he's a very, very kind and understanding partner for her to have, and that's where my mind stopped. I didn't go down the route of maybe we should be shipping them.
No, he likes her because he was just so like, you have to go to prom, you have to go to cop prom with me, come on.
You shall go to the ball.
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, I'm not into that. And he got his feelings hurt when she wasn't going to go to cop prom. Like, aw.
Yeah.
And it was either that or they were going to do the Ripper twist. Like, oh, he wants her to go because he's trying to trap her or whatever. But we know the Ripper's just some dude. We spend all season theorizing who the Ripper is. Might be Gigi, might be Blessing's mom. And it's just some dude.
Could be the porcelain cat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, people, I think you saw that people are like, it's Jonah. It's Trinity's son. He somehow is the Ripper or whatever. But it's just some dude.
I think if it was going to be him, we might have had a stronger hint of that in the finale.
Yeah. Oh, even like the little Trinity theme music or whatever. Oh, because it's Trinity Part 2.
Or something on that label, like an Easter egg, initials or something. Yeah. I mean, it could still be that Don Frampt is a pseudonym.
Pseudonym, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
So Harrison takes that job at the hotel, doesn't he? At the gala, I mean.
You called it. I quite didn't see that coming.
I liked him putting the phone in the top pocket like a little GoPro to film himself going around. That was a cool way for them to work together. And I liked Harrison's quick thinking, demonstrating the Morgan trait of
ratting his friend out. Hey, that guy's smoking over there.
Yeah.
When
he was challenged.
I like that too. Yeah. Oh, dude, that guy's smoking. He sucks. Go get him.
Yeah. Look at him. Go and tell him off.
Yeah.
But he gets up there and picks the lock, and obviously Dexter's been training him in a few skills like Harry did back in the day, and but I wasn't surprised to find Charlie the other side of the door. I mean, it was making quite a large rattling noise picking that lock, and we knew Charlie was up there. He just knew he was going to run into her, and I wondered if maybe they'd have some sort of physical confrontation and he'd have to fight her. But it went down the route of Dexter manipulating her. Although he was telling the truth, there was a file there, and Prater was collecting potential blackmail material should she ever decide to not follow orders.
Yeah.
But it's the icing on the cake for her, and it's interesting. She has her line, and killing an innocent cop was the start of Prater crossing at her employer. I guess it was all right if Dexter had done it, but not if her employer had done it. Who knows that? Yeah, that's where she drew her line. But then him collecting potential blackmail material was just too much, and she quits, and that's it. I like that she shows some honor by acknowledging that Dexter didn't hurt her mum, and she allows Harrison to be unharmed and kind of says, if I were you, I'd just leave the building. And then she's like, peace out. And
she's like, I'm about to do the same thing. Bye.
Yeah. I mean, there's been some criticism from a listener this week that would Charlie really just leave Harrison up there with all Prater's stuff? But I think, in those circumstances, I think she'd reached the point where she had no tolerance, and that was it. I quit. I'm done. Even if it would probably mean perhaps the money would stop coming in for her mum, although she does try to still extort further funds from Prater, doesn't she?
She believes that would work. Yeah.
Maybe
it would have. We'll never know.
Yeah. So as we talked about, they got the code. There's some high tension music, isn't there, as they're entering the code? But I don't think we were in any doubt that the door would open.
Yeah. And
Dexter sets about grabbing the files, not forgetting to pick up his old friends, the blood slides. some very old friends in there, because they're the slides they got from Dokes, aren't they? From his trunk.
Yeah, if they wanted, back in season 2. If they wanted to, I guess, show how smart Detective Bee Gees is, I mean, like, she'd look at the thing and be like, why are the Bay Harbor Butcher slide? Because, there's like a, excuse me, it's like the exhibit where it's like Bay Harbor Butcher blood slides, but they'd be missing. And she'd be like, Batista was looking into the Bay Harbor Butcher. They could go down that route.
Yeah.
They could have her be like, all right, I'm taking Batista seriously now. He was right.
Well, I did bring this up with Cardia and Dominic, that there are some loose ends as far as Batista's concerned, things he's left behind. He didn't check out of his hotel like he was told to. So his hotel room's still booked out to Angel Batista, and his investigation wall is presumably still there, along with his phone records, even if Dexter's taken his mobile phone with him, which he should have done, because there'd be call records and things and fingerprints and stuff. But they would surely be able to, with technology these days, access his cloud to check voicemails, check his voice recordings, assuming they back up to the cloud. So there could still be some bits and pieces out there that season 2 Wallace and Aliva could pursue and maybe still end up on the trail of Dexter.
Yeah, and I definitely expect it to be them two, and I don't think we're going to get Quinn and Masuka back. I think the days of like Dexter's old Miami friends hunting him, I think we've reached the end of that. Because Quinn's already kind of hunted. Quinn's the only one who's hunted Dexter and decided like, nah, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I'm out of here. He's kind of in that way, Quinn's the smartest man to work in Miami Metro, I suppose.
Yeah, he's the one who backed off.
Yeah, he was like, all right, this isn't my business. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about this.
In favor of cozying up with Deborah Morgan.
With Deb, yeah.
Yeah. But of course, in terms of status on the show, Batista's at the top, isn't he, of the remaining people in Miami Metro. So for Quinn to come in, it wouldn't have as big an impact as Batista. So I think you're right.
They'd have
it may be that they still engage with Quinn and Masuka.
Yeah.
But not to come and lead any investigation.
They'd have to have some angle where it'd be like uniquely Quinn. And I don't know if the fans would like it or not, but Quinn would come in and he'd need to be like, he needs Dexter's help for something, or he'd start off like, I know you're the butcher. I'm not here for that. I'm here for something else. Or, you know what I mean? Or I know you're shady. Or I don't know. That's the only reason I could see him coming back. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe or maybe not.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of a hitch in Dexter making his escape, because he's lost the all-important thumbprint. And I liked Harrison wanting to stay with him, not wanting to leave him this time. They do seem to have a pretty strong bond at this point, and I think that's credit to how Dexter's made great efforts to rebuild the relationship this season. Dexter has a good line. He says, if something happens, I'm really glad you didn't kill me.
Yeah.
I felt it was a Dextery equivalent of I love you, son. But my wife said to me she thinks it just means he's glad they've got this second chance to forge a relationship. But in Dexter's words later, I think both things can be true. In the gala, Prater's doing a good job compartmentalizing until Charlie gives him a look, and as we talked about, she quits but turns the tables to make sure her mum's still taken care of. I'm not sure how this leaves her at the end. So if Prater's dead or missing, presumed dead, his assets will be frozen or locked up or something, won't they? There'll be an investigation. Yeah. They won't know that he's dead. So surely if he's a suspect in a murder of a police officer, they'll freeze his assets. That might be one of the first things they do. They'll know he's got resource. So from Charlie's point of view, someone has to ensure the bills are paid. But I'm guessing as things turned out, that will stop. Well, we also see them leaving town, of course. So maybe she kind of knew that the jig was up and that they'll go home and her mum will live out her days in her old house.
Not that it really matters, but do we know what's wrong with the mom? Did we ever get... Is it she's just kind of she's bedridden and something, she needs doctors. It's bad.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Oh.
The first time we saw Charlie approach the bed, and obviously at the time we thought it was a hospital, Charlie picked up the medical,
the clipboard
sheet, the clipboard,
Yeah.
and I'm sure it said on there it was, can't remember the medical term, but I'm pretty sure I looked it up at the time, and it was some form of cancer.
Oh, okay. I mean, it really doesn't
So-
matter. You're right regardless. Like, yeah, I don't know how she's going to pay.
Yeah, but that treatment Prater was paying for was essentially keeping her alive, wasn't it? It was buying her time. So maybe the two of them, maybe Charlie will be able to just sort of see her mum quietly slip away peacefully in their old
Because they're
family
back
home.
in the childhood house. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. So that might be quite a nice sort of way for that to sort of pan out. Whether she'll be back, I think probably not. But Prater's pissed off, understandably. While Harrison tries to dodge the detectives and nearly makes it out, Prater catches him. He gets that security guy to turn off the CCTV and give him his gun. You'd presume that after all this, the police will question everyone, all the staff, and this guy will tell them, well, Prater asked me to give him his gun and turn the cameras off. Maybe identify Harrison when they replay the recorded
whatever
footage.
they do have.
Yeah, so that might be another little thread for Claudette and Wallace and Oliva to draw together.
Scott, I know Scott Reynolds is listening, dude. You get us in the room, the writer's room, bro. We're figuring it out for you.
They'll be thinking, oh, they've said this. Yeah, we can't do that.
We can't do
can't
that.
Do that now.
Oh, okay,
can't do that now.
We got to tell them some bad ideas. Oh, Dexter could learn to play guitar.
Well, you know, he laughed at me when we were talking with David last week, and I was saying about overthinking with Gigi. And you didn't see the video, but when I was saying I was probably overthinking that, Scott was going like this, nodding vigorously.
Yeah.
So I think it amuses him enormously when we go barking up the wrong tree. But that's what we're here to do, isn't it? We'll yap away up every tree trunk we can find. So back with Dexter, and he finds the thumbprint stuck to Batista's body. I loved him again. Another little gesture, places the hand on Batista's chest. Another little gesture of affection. His actions betray his feelings. There's a almost a brotherly love there in a Dextery kind of way.
He's the light passenger, or he was.
Yeah, or something.
As opposed to the brother he yelled at earlier in the episode and threw a chainsaw at. Dexter, or Batista's the light brother, you know.
Yeah. I was thinking after we saw the Scream and heard the Scream last week that we'd see Dexter a bit more volatile this week, but he does a really good job of keeping things in check and focusing on the tasks at hand. It's compartmentalization again, which sociopaths are good at. He nearly makes it out, of course, and then he gets the call from Prater, so back to the vault we go, up and down. But that vault has been such a great location this season. I love it. A really unique set beyond anything we've seen in the show before. And Scott talked about it a lot when we covered episode 4. And massive credit to the production design team and the set dressers. Did you look at the virtual tour that they?
I never did, because I think I don't even know if but when that aired, that episode. We hadn't even got to that episode yet, had we? I was trying to avoid spoilers. Whatever the timeline was, I was like, I don't want to see it yet. And then I never went around to seeing it. Yeah.
So, we talked about it for our podcast about episode 4. So it was after the episode. So you'll have seen it. Anyway, but they posted a 3D virtual tour so you could go around and have a closer look at some of the exhibits. Then we get a song playing, and this again harks back to when I talked with Scott in episode 4, because there was this same song, Badoom Badoom, by Scrounge, and he drew attention to it, and he said this song will come into play later in the season, but it will mean something completely different. And he was right. Very different circumstances, but it plays as Dexter's going back up the elevator, to join Harrison and Prater at the vault.
Yeah.
And as he's going up, he's saying, "Is this the cost of loving someone?" So there, he said it, at least to himself.
Oh,
the L word.
Dexter, you little softy.
Yeah, we knew, didn't we? But Harrison is his weakness. Charlie was right. And if they're going to have a life together, this is going to keep happening, isn't it? Especially based on what Dexter says at the end. He's showing no sign of wanting to stop killing, quite the opposite.
Yeah. He's just getting started, baby.
Yeah, he's rejuvenated. And then we get the standoff with Prater. He admits he found the kill exhilarating. All this time, he had his trauma, his dark need resulting from that, but he filled it with the gory details and interacting with killers. And now he's killed. He's realised that, holy cow, this is even better. This is next level pleasure. And he's all in.
Yeah.
The cost of loving someone we see is Dexter being prepared to sacrifice himself to save his son. Like any parent, you'd lay down your own life to protect that of your child. Welcome to humanity, Dexter. He's really come far, isn't he? I'm proud of him here, even though he's manipulating Prater. I think he'd have been prepared to do it in that moment, don't you?
Well, back in season 3, he broke his own hand to make sure he could live to see Harrison and Rita and all that. You know, Harrison was still in Rita's belly at the time, but so it's kind of, it harkened back to that. You know, like the things he's willing. This is obviously heightened. Back then, he just broke his hand, but here he was willing to lay down his life. You know, and I guess even in season 6, when Colin Hanks had Harrison, remember Dexter injected himself with M99. Yeah. Harrison is his weakness, and that's as it should be. You know, that's any good father. Yeah. No one can accuse Dexter of being a bad father.
On occasion.
Oh, are you about to?
Oh. I'm just thinking of the times when you could argue, but he's definitely more in New Blood.
Yeah.
Very much so in New Blood.
New Blood's almost like the Star Wars prequels, dude. It's like we're acting like it didn't happen. They're acting like it didn't happen. Yeah, and he's learned, and that's good writing is seeing characters develop, characters not stay static, and he has had a character arc this season, and that's been one of the successes, I think. Obviously in that moment with that standoff, I guess we have to say there's nothing to have stopped Prater shooting them both. Yes. He's just putting a lot of faith in Prater that you'll do the right thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what else could he do?
He didn't hold all the cards, but he says to Harrison about protection, and Harrison remembers.
A condom now, Harrison? What the hell? That was me.
Yeah. Couldn't be further from my thoughts.
This is about to turn to a different kind of situation.
Yeah. and Harrison remembers the protection, and I guess it's just handy he had it in his jacket pocket, although
it's also handy the dosage was made for a small person like Peter Dinklage, but we won't think about that, because I imagine you could probably it's like any anesthesia, you could probably die if you get too much of it, right? But
yeah, and I guess the dosage would vary depending on
your weight,
physique of the person. If you're injecting an elephant or a rabbit.
Whatever. I don't want to be. I'm not trying to be nitpicky. It was a fine moment, but that did cross my mind. Well, okay, it was perfectly dosed out for 100-pound Peter Dinklage. I don't know how much he weighs, but
it was lights out. It was lights out. It's all good. And like I say, in my notes here, it was Industry who had the theory. It was M99 last week, and she was absolutely on the money. So
was right.
Well done, you. And Harrison knew what to do with it. So. Now I'll ask you this. I just said all that about Dexter's humanity, sacrificing himself for his son. But did he say all that while thinking, I'll bluff this, I'll hint to Harrison about the M99 and we'll get out of this? Or do you think he was completely sincere and remembered the M99 and hoped it would work?
Oh.
Do you think it was all manipulation? I mean, should we be cynical?
I didn't even consider that. I wish you hadn't asked me that. I don't know.
Sowing the seed of doubt.
It was true. I don't know. Yeah, because if he thought Harrison had the thing on him, he should have led with that, right? I don't know. As soon as you see Harrison be like, I hope you have protection or whatever. Yeah, that was a little, I guess, a little misleading for the audience, or waiting so long to pull that out. Yeah. I don't know. I can't answer that question.
I'm playing a cheeky devil's advocate, of course, because like you, I'm a shill, and I want to see Dexter progress, and I always refer to his character journey and his personal journey and towards humanity, and I put the word humanity in inverted commas, because he's achieved so much already. Then we get a wonderful kill table scene, and it's a doozy, isn't it? Praetor goes to pieces,
literally
begging. But not straight away, but figuratively, begging for his life. Of course, money can't buy his freedom.
He's not tough at all. Sometimes people on the table are like, "You think you're better than me? Fuck you!" Then Neil Patrick Harris was like, "Just do it, bitch. I'm done. I'm out of here." But he was like, "No, please,
no. You could have a life of luxury. College fund for your son." And Dexter's like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah.
But there was a lovely layer of humour over this sequence with Michael's performance mocking Praetor, and he did that.
He did the hand thing,
the hand to the face, and it was a masterclass in acting there. I think of all the scenes this season, I mean, I'll talk about my highlights of the season in another podcast, but in terms of highlights of Michael's performance, I think that moment, that scene was as good as any this season. They have a good conversation, Dexter telling him stuff that Praetor was looking to hear before. And this whole news about all this information about the code is news to Praetor. He didn't see that coming. And that theme of justice comes up, reinforcing the episode title. I have a thing for justice, Dexter says. And then balancing that against the thrill of the kill. And Dexter says, well, both things can be true. But and we talked about this a little bit before we started recording, is that a holy cow moment for us as viewers, and for me, who has always accused Dexter of only killing because he needs to, and that any societal benefit through ridding the world of a few killers is purely circumstantial. It's just a consequence, a happy consequence of what he does. And it feels like, and it's not the first time Dexter's sense of justice has been brought up this season. Harrison mentioned it. Was it in connection with the landlord?
Yeah, and it was he always related it to Deb, which he doesn't share any blood with, but it was always like, you got your justice from your Aunt Deb. He'd said it runs in the Morgan family. Yeah,
and I think they shared the same family home, didn't they? So the nurture that Deb got, so did Dexter, from having the law enforcement dad. So I think that's okay. But it's interesting to see how they explore that concept moving forward. It's Dexter's sense of justice. And I think Dexter works best when he's in that grey moral area. Yes. And then equally for us as viewers rooting for him, we're in that grey moral area. And they have to be careful not to swing him too far down the justice route, in case he becomes like a Batman vigilante type.
Because I think it's almost maybe teetering on like a bad kind of fan service that I don't like. Because you think about occasionally in the real world, you'll hear things like, "Where's Dexter when you need him?" Some story about some bad guy, some politician we don't like, right? I'm not pointing fingers, or naming names.
Don't name fingers. No, we're not going there.
No, where's Dexter when you need him? So people like this idea of the serial killer who only kills bad people. And I like the idea that you said, where it's like any net benefit to society is like a coincidence, or it's a not Dexter's main intention, because I feel when someone becomes self-righteous, when someone truly believes in their heart that they're doing the right thing, and this is what the right thing is. It's like a religious zealotry or something. They become an asshole, where it's like, wait, you know what's best. I like it better when Dexter just does what he does, and I'm kind of like, well, it's not bugging me, and I kind of like watching it. But if he's like, no, I have to kill this guy because this makes the world better, then he's like I said like Batman, I guess. I don't really think Batman's an asshole. Bruce Wayne's an asshole. All that money and he can't help anybody. But yeah, I think we're on the same page.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't want to see Dexter justifying what he does by saying he's helping society. Mm-hmm. He used to use the phrase about taking out the trash, but as we know, the code was developed by Harry to partly, I think, maybe to ease Harry's conscience, ease his guilt, knowing that, okay, if Dexter's going to go this way, then I've got to try and help him stay safe, not get caught. And
it's giving Dexter a proverbial condom, right? This is the protection you need to get your freak on, Dexter.
Yeah, and we saw some of that explored a bit in Original Sin.
Yeah,
and not to pick that scab off again, but if that had stuck around, then they could have further explored that, and that would have been that was interesting seeing that.
Yes, I want to believe
all the stuff with Harry.
Brian killed Harry.
Yeah, and maybe we'll never know, but who knows? Weirder things have happened, and shows have come back from the dead before.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, so. What Dexter suggests here is that he says both things can be true, that both things may have equal importance, and that the sense of justice was certainly impressed upon him by Harry in life. He worked for the police for 20 years, Dexter did, legitimately working cases, bringing people to justice within the system by day, surrounded by other law enforcement like Batista, his sister, all trying to uphold the law and seeking justice. And maybe that sense of justice really was in there, that need to be judge, jury and executioner, and the kill wasn't up there on a pedestal on its own. I thought it was a fascinating moment, and we could debate this all night, but it made me stop and think.
Yeah. It's character growth, because I remember going back to season 1, which is so long ago, Dexter would have the chance to kill somebody and he wouldn't. If you remember from season 1, there was that drug lord Guerrero that ended up being like a dope story, but Dexter could have killed Guerrero, but he was like, nah, I don't. The words he uses, the universe doesn't need me to balance its books. That's how he used to feel. And now he's definitely like, I'm the auditor, bitch. Let me balance these books. Pa, pa, pa. And that's him.
Yeah. So you could you could file that under character growth.
Yeah. Or an evolution for sure. Yeah. If it's not, you could debate whether that's growth or decay, but it's definitely a change.
Yeah. And then as always, when Dexter says stuff, there's always that caveat that Dexter is the unreliable narrator. So can we always take everything he says at face value, or occasionally is he kidding himself? And kidding us in the process, and
definitely kidding himself. He wouldn't lie to the viewer, because the viewer is him in a way, right, in his narration. But he'd be lying to himself. Never mind the fourth wall break at the end, right? I don't think he wouldn't lie to over narration.
Yeah,
we know all his dark thoughts in narration.
Yeah.
So if he says something unreliable, it's because he doesn't know himself. He needs to meditate or whatever. Start going to church, whatever you do to find yourself. Go to therapy.
Yeah.
Get a hobby.
So Dexter, in quite a surprising move, decides not to take a blood slide, which is quite a big thing, and it was a real screw you to Prater. You're not even deserving of me taking a drop of your blood. I can you remember, and you're the person to ask. Oh, I lost my earbud. There we go, got it back. Whether Dexter's done this before, if he's had someone on his kill table and not taken the sample.
Yes, but there would be a specific reason. Like, obviously, he didn't take a blood slide from Rudy because that was very special circumstances.
Yeah.
In season 2, there was the guy pretending to be the Dark Defender. He was like, a copycat killer of the Bay Harbor Butcher. And Dexter didn't take a blood slide from him because he was leaving the body out for everybody.
That's right, for Lundy in the
Lundy.
train carriage.
Yeah. And then I guess in season 3 he killed the photographer who was just kind of creeping on Astor. He didn't really commit any crimes, legally speaking, against Astor, but he was just being a creep, and Dexter didn't like that.
Yeah.
So he's definitely not taken slides before. And of course in season 8 is where I think he's killing the Minotaur guy or whatever. And that's when he throws his blood slides away. Like, he's got him there, and he's realizing, like, nah, dude, I'm done with this shit. When he gave up blood slides for a little bit before he picked him back up in New Blood. Because I remember he had the guy, he was going to put him into a furnace. Dexter's a big furnace guy now, by the way. Yeah. This is season 8. He put the guy in the furnace, like, alive. I mean, he probably stabbed him first, but like, he put the guy's body in the furnace whole. And he threw his blood slides in the box in there. Like, I don't, I'm evolved now. I've got Hannah, and life's going to be great in Argentina,
Yeah. How did that work out? Not very well.
So he's definitely not taking slides. I was kind of like, dude, take the slide. This is a big deal, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
But he would be very petty. Like, I'm not even going to remember you.
Yeah, like thumbing his nose at him.
Yeah. He could have taken the slide after he died. Like, we're like, all right, actually, I'm going to have a little bit of this for later.
Yeah. But he says, I don't want to remember you. I can't imagine he'll forget him.
Yeah, that'd be hard to do.
Yeah. So, moving on downstairs, Claudette Wallace goes to leave, but the Staying Alive song comes on, and I totally marked out. I knew she was going to go back in and dance.
I thought it was going to trigger something like, wait, like she was going to do some Clue, like some Rain Man stuff. Like, wait, this song triggered me. Now I can see the numbers.
Yeah.
And go upstairs, quick. I thought it was going to lead to something like that would complicate Dexter's life. Not, I got to dance.
Yeah.
Because she always uses that song when she's like in crime zone.
It's a focus music.
So
Cardia talks about this on the podcast, so stay tuned for that when when I put that out later. But for me, it was an absolutely joyous moment. She ropes in a lever who I think we can safely say was not on Prater's payroll now. No. But I bloody love this moment. This song is her catnip.
Dude, she knew all the moves.
I don't think her partner had any idea.
Yeah, she wasn't just vibing, dude. She knew when to do like the barrel roll and when to the Cupid shuffle or whatever. She knew it all.
Yeah. I just love her character. She's wonderful. More next season, please.
I have no doubt.
Yeah. So Dexter's bagged up Prater. Let's not get bogged down in worrying about the place not
where
being
all
covered
that blood
in
went.
sheets.
Yeah, the world's cleanest dissection. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be blood spatter traces all over, but let's trust Dexter being a neat monster.
Yeah.
And he triggers the alarm on purpose. And of course, the police all rush upstairs, find the collection and Batista, and maybe our wish for him to come out of this a hero will come true.
Yeah.
He's. I mean, it was a bit of a holy shit moment for Wallace and Oliva, seeing him there and thinking, oh shit, maybe he was onto something. But we'll see how that pans out in season 2. But I love the moment where she puts her hat on his body as it was carried out. It's like a gesture of respect that I thought was really classy, and touching as well.
That's Batista. The hat is Batista. No one's going to dress as Batista for Halloween without the hat, So, I mean, that's you got to put respect on the hat.
Yeah. So they find the Ripper weapon and a file labeled New York Ripper, and we talked about the name. So, I mean, if you take that as face value, that have they wrapped up the New York Ripper in this final episode?
I consider that.
A little part of me thinks maybe they have. I mean, it would be a rug pull because many of us believe that they were setting him up to be something next season.
Yeah, like they were doing themselves a favor. Like, let's set this up now so it's cooler next season. And
yeah,
but maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, there was a code on the file. Some of the others were clearly marked active, like Al's, and I think Mia's was.
I saw that online too. Yeah, people.
But maybe it hadn't. Maybe he hadn't got as far as. Yeah, maybe he hadn't updated it. Who knows?
He was a little busy. He didn't have time to go put the new sticker in. You know what they could do? Here's what they're gonna do. While Detective BG's has like a suspicion towards Dexter, she's gonna call him in as like a civilian consultation, like, help us catch the Ripper. You know, I respect Batista now, and before Batista died, he said you were the best in your field. You know what I mean? Like that, they could get Dexter back into the, again,
a consultant.
Yeah, I mean, in the real world, I don't know how much that would work out. Didn't she also say, wasn't it her who was like, blood spatter is bullshit? Didn't she say that?
I think
someone told him. So it was him or Gigi. Someone was like, dude, blood spatter's fake.
It was Gigi. It was Gigi. Said it was. Did she say it had been debunked or that?
Yeah,
it was,
we don't.
Some
we
people
don't
were
teach
skeptical
that anymore. It's like it's like mouth to mouth. Like we don't. That doesn't work. We don't teach that anymore. But whatever. I'm thinking they'll do something like that. I want to see Dexter back solving crimes and.
Yeah. So the status on the Ripper's file, it said FARM. Farm. I don't know what that means. Is it an acronym for something? Is it an abbreviation for something?
Yeah.
I don't know. Could it be the funny farm? I mean, there's some reason why he's not killing. But still taunting. So he must still be alive if he's still taunting his victims or the families of his victims. Sorry.
Yeah.
But he's not killing. So why isn't he killing? Is he physically unable to go and do it? I mean, there's questions, and something tells me we're going to find out next season. I don't think this is the end of the Ripper. No. I don't think it will be as easy as them going and looking in the phone book to see D Framped. And going and knocking on his door and slapping on the handcuffs. Yeah, book him, Dano.
If for no other reason, it's just, it makes I'm imagining the writers meeting back up in the writers' room. That's just like the easiest place to start. Like, we have this thing we could bring up. Let's not think of something else. We are, we can go home early today if we just kind of go from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we go to the final voiceover as Dexter's dumping the bin bags into the would that be the East River?
Yeah, it would be. I don't know. I've never even been to the East Coast. I'm a West Coast boy. You guys know it, West Side. But it reminded me. I thought it was like the Planet of the Apes shot. Like, whoa, we were in New York the whole time. They show the Statue of Liberty. Like, what?
You blew it up.
Yeah, you maniacs.
Yeah, actually that would have been appropriate for Dexter to shout at the dinner party, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you maniac. Or this food is people or whatever.
Yeah,
we can do the whole Charlton Heston. Dexter was a running man at one point, I'm sure. Harrison owned a rifle, and Charlton Heston famously was an NRA spokesperson.
Yes,
dude, this is some right-wing propaganda we're watching here.
Yeah. Well, so Dexter talks about how on his resurrection he was considering maybe facing a life of solitude, and now realizing he's maybe not fated to be alone. We see Blessing dancing with his wife, big smile on his face, and I love this as a sign that he's moving forward through his grief and coming out the other side and smiling again. There has been talk about what happened to a bit that was in one of the trailers pre-season where it was thought that Blessing was wielding a sword or something like a sword.
Yeah.
It looks like whatever that was, it was cut.
I didn't even see it. I heard you guys talking about it. I had no idea what you're talking about. I think I watched all the trailers, but that slipped by me. I didn't remember that.
Yeah. So I was looking at a little bit more about it today, and I think the feeling was that it was a scene where he was brandishing something and challenging some people lurking around Dexter's car. So it
Oh, he was like he was kind of in protection mode, like get out of here, you punks.
Yeah, something like that. But I guess they cut it, which is fine.
Yeah.
So it's moot. But Dexter quotes Al and says something like, even people like us need to belong. I think that's something Al says early in the season. And he says he misses Deb and used to lean on her. And now he has Harrison. They can lean on each other. That's family, regular family. So again, welcome to the human race, Dexter. But he says when the urges rise, he can lean on Harrison. Does he mean that Harrison might help him stay grounded and prevent him needing to kill? But then in the next breath, he says about doing what he does. And he doesn't want to fight who he is, what he is. And there's that line, he's exactly who we want him to be. Looking down camera, breaking the fourth wall. It's like, you wanted this. All you people who were
all you
crapping
Redditors.
all over the New Blood ending. Hope you're happy.
Well, that's again a season 1 callback. That's the very last line of season 1 is like, I'm one of them in your darkest dreams. You remember he's having the flashback, or at the end of season 1, he's imagining like a ticker tape parade of all the cops are like, way to go, Dexter, you fucking did it, dude. Yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, if they knew what I did, they'd do this and that, and I'm just like them in your darkest dreams or whatever. Like, oh, what? And he's like looking at the camera.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I as you know, I liked the ending of New Blood, but I'm still happy that Dexter's who we want him to be, and we'll see obviously where that goes. But leaning on Harrison when the urges arise. That's quite an ambiguous, or maybe not ambiguous statement. You take it at face value, but I don't know how to interpret that, because the line was there. The line's in there.
I think it just meant, I don't think he would ever stop killing like he did before New Blood. But I think it just meant, just tide him over, whatever, if the urges are there and he can't do anything about it, just lean on his buddy until it passes, until his buddy, as in his son,
Yeah.
Yeah, I interpret it that way. I don't think he's going to stop killing, of course, like, the very next line says he would. And I don't think he's going to try to rope Harrison back into it. Harrison seems to be over that. He got over his murder real quick. I'm not going to harp on that too much, but he murdered that guy and he was feeling really bad about it to the point where he was going to turn himself in.
Yeah.
He was being guilty.
Haunted by visions, wasn't he?
Harrison, it wasn't like Harrison was like, fuck, I'm going to get caught. It was like, he felt guilty. Like, dude, I did a bad thing. And I was like, oh no, he's cool now.
Yeah. So like we say, is Dexter pledging to settle into doing what he does best, taking out the trash, while maintaining friendships and a relationship with his son? Is he back to thinking he can have it all? It makes me remember again Trinity's words.
Yeah, I just rolled my eyes. I was like, yeah, we're taking a step back for sure. He's kind of had these revelations, right? Like, if we're charting out like a bell curve of like his story arc, it's like in the beginning, it's like, I'm alone, I fake every emotion. And then it goes to like, oh, maybe I don't fake every emotion. I love not being alone. And then season 8 ends with like, I need to be alone, right? He's like kind of back where he started, except he doesn't want, at the end, he's like, I need to be alone because people get hurt. And now he's kind of like all the way back up here, I guess, to the middle of mid show Dexter 1. Oh, I need people. I love people and I need people. He's taken a step back.
Yeah, but I mean, the difference with Harrison now is that they have this open, honest relationship. So, and he's not Harrison isn't recoiling from what his dad does.
Kind of like, what Miguel offered at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Dexter's world is different. having that relationship than, say, in season 4, when, he had Rita, he had Deb, but none of them knew what he was or what he did.
Yeah.
He's got someone who he can be honest with, and when stuff's going on, he doesn't have to lie to Harrison. I'm guessing he'll still do his best to protect him, but it does feel like Harrison is absolutely his weakness, and I don't see how Dexter can keep doing what he's doing and not at some point put Harrison in peril again.
Yeah, that's gonna be the way it goes.
Yeah.
And certainly, even just from like a narrative standpoint, I'm picturing myself being a writer. They need to have some excuse for Harrison to be in the story, right? I mean, we all care about Dexter, and unless they write Harrison off, I think they're committed to Harrison. They need to make some reason for Harrison to be in the mix. He's gonna have to get in danger again somehow.
Yeah. And I wondered whether at the end of this season Harrison would be in a situation where he'd have to kill again, but this time to protect his dad. But maybe that scenario will happen
for the New York
next
Ripper
season.
at the end of season 2.
Yeah. But so that's where we're at. That's the season, and just to sort of sum it up, I loved it.
Yes.
In hindsight, they did the right thing, getting the hell away from Iron Lake as quickly as possible. I'm not even thinking about the questions that we had there anymore. We don't need to. They really did have a much more interesting story to tell, and we've had some great stuff. The Boogeyman Club, the father-son development, all these teases to get us theorizing. The theories around Mia, Blessing, the Ripper.
Everybody had there's something going on.
Yeah.
Except maybe Neil Patrick Harris. He was gone too soon for us to theorize. Gemini Man, the 2 Gemini brothers. I agree with you. I recommend this season to anybody. Like, I really, in good conscience, I can't really recommend New Blood. I was not a fan. Even, for example, a real world example, my girlfriend and I binged all of Dexter.
Yeah.
By the time we got to New Blood, she was kind of over it. She's like, I'm good. But she started watching Resurrections with me without having watched New Blood, because I just caught her up. Like, okay, Harrison shot his dad, and that's about it. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
I recommend this show to anybody. I also recommend Original Sin to anybody for what that's worth. It's a good show. And I did have the thought, because you talked about you don't have any questions from previously. Remind me, Gareth, how did Dexter stay alive when he got shot?
In Iron Lake?
No, but why? How did he stay alive?
It was the cold that slowed the blood loss.
And you know where else it's really cold? The bottom of the ocean. I think Prater survived, and he's going to come back next season. I'm fucking around. Gareth doesn't know if I'm being serious. No.
I was thinking, he's Deadpool?
No, but it's very cold at the ocean. There's a chance he could have survived, The blood flow. And we saw how little blood there was on the floor. He's got all his blood still in him, Prater,
Somewhere elsewhere in California right now, Scott is listening in his car, and he's turning this off, saying you've gone too far now.
No, he's pulling over. He's pulling over on the side of the highway to get his notes. Oh, that's a great idea.
Or he's saying, here, this Travis has got some good ideas. I'm gonna see if Gareth's got his number.
Yeah, Gareth put me in touch with Travis. Yeah, so Prater
let me
comes
just
back,
check my phone. Hang on. Yeah. I've got an email.
You got the text already. Yeah.
That's good. He's a time traveler as well.
Yeah.
So any particular moments jump out at you from the season as being particularly special?
I still think, this seems so long ago now, that 3rd episode I loved. I was just so impressed that the way when Dexter was getting strangled by the Dark Passenger and the way he got out of it, they set up everything. It was like there was no BS, like Dexter just has superhuman strength. It was like, he put the metal thing. Well, he wore a turtleneck, which was weird. And then they explained, well, he wore the turtleneck to hide the metal thing. And he got the metal thing because they set it up earlier that Blessing's like, I got all this scrap metal around, I love that they set all that up. It was like, oh, perfect. Because it fooled me. I was like, oh my God, here comes Superman Dexter, gonna power his way through getting strangled. Okay. And then I was like, what? I loved it. I really liked that third episode. I like that. The Gemini twist was great. I only wish, they say leave him wanting more. I wish that it was more of a problem for him. Somehow they could have stretched that out. The fact that this guy's missing his twin brother and he's like, wait, something's not right. Or, we can look forward to seeing Al. I keep wanting to call him Cam for obvious reasons. We're going to see Al. Surely Al will come back, even for like a one episode thing. They'll bring him back. I was a big hater. I won't even deny it. That's a hater on Harrison. I'm still not in love with him. He does dumb things like have sex with his girlfriend at bad times or text like a child. But
so selfish.
Harrison, but Harrison, he doesn't make me hate him anymore. They aged him up mentally, even if they couldn't really age him up physically. I mean, he already looks like a grown ass man anyway. He could beat my ass. If Jack Alcott's listening, my name's Trevor and not Travis. Don't look for me. I recommend it.
Yeah.
Not just to you, to anybody, I guess. That's how I would say I loved it. Is I would actually tell people to watch it. Yeah.
It's been a really strong season, and I think I hope that because let's be honest, there were haters of New Blood. I wasn't one of them, but there were the naysayers, and I hope that they have been pleasantly surprised by this season and can now sit back as the credits roll on the finale and think, yeah, that was good. I'm glad I came back and stuck with the show. And maybe I'll get an email or two from listeners who were in that position, hating where it was left and loving it again now. Hope so. And I think the cast and crew and the creative team have done a terrific job. The show looked beautiful. The show was stunning, cinematic.
Well, that
soundtrack, it was fresh.
In front of the Statue of Liberty, that looked really great. I mean, they saved that to the end, that shot. I'm going to ignore, surely those waters in front of the Statue of Liberty are like hyper monitored by cameras or people have to clean the harbor frequently. You know what I mean? Whatever. It looked great,
Yeah. Well done, everybody. It's been great. All right, let's call it, shall we? Season 1 reviewed. It's been a huge amount of fun, and as I say, almost everyone to a person seems to have enjoyed it. The creators of the show should be very proud of themselves, coming back to bring us such a strong story, and maybe going a long way to erasing any bad feeling held by those who didn't like the end of New Blood. This has been a top season of Dexter. Thank you for joining me, Travis. Would you like to plug where people could find your work? I always ask you this.
Yeah, well, I don't have like a podcast presence, but I'm on Instagram at Mr. Shefflin, Mr. Shefflin, Sheflin. I had that YouTube page. You can just look up my name, Travis Shefflin, on YouTube. I had a film in film festivals this last year that did kind of well. A cartoon. I do animations. I do want to say briefly, I don't have to plug anything, but we talked about this. I owe Scott an apology. Very briefly, I went off. I said iPod or AirPods can't be tracked because they couldn't up until like last year. The newest AirPods can be tracked the way that they were in the show. I was wrong, and I feel like an asshole. Scott, would you forgive me? You can, when you text me to get my ideas for season 2, I'll give you the personal apology, Scott.
Excellent. Well, if Scott's listening, then I'm sure he'll be in touch. All right. Well, thank you, Travis. Thanks for joining me today. It's great to catch up with you, my friend, and break down this sucker that was the Resurrection finale. It was a lot of fun, and I'm sure, like me, you can't wait to see what they come up with for season 2.
Hopefully, it's soon and Yeah, not 2 years from now.
I always say trust the show,
Yeah.
and I hope people will agree that we were right to trust the show, and it's rewarded our faith. So that's it from me for now. I'll be back in a few days with the listener feedback, and we'll be dissecting a little more Dexter together. Until then, thanks very much for listening. Take care. Bye for now.